Yo! Welcome back to another episode of Hyper Heroes here on Hyper RPG. God damn, it feels good to be back.
I know, it's nice actually.
It
It's
is really
nice.
nice.
Good to be a gangsta, and it feels good to be back.
Damn good gangster.
Damn
I was
right.
gonna say
Headphones
I was
on.
gonna say like the first part of that verse of that chorus, but it's
Yes.
not appropriate for TV.
Feels good to be back.
Uh-huh.
We took a break for a couple weeks. The first week we
Absolutely.
had a little bit of technical issues doing our Iron Man watch along, so we did it last week. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched along with us.
Yup.
That'll be available next week on the YouTubes for everybody. But it feels good to be back.
Yeah, it's nice. It's
Changing
nice.
things up a little bit. This is the new set that
That we
was
promised. So we promised a new set
Yeah.
and debuted it on a Patreon.
on a commentary
right?
thing. That's right. The patrons got the exclusive, baby.
right.
Yeah.
But
it's
here
good,
we
it's
are
good.
in beautiful downtown Daytona, and we are absolutely so excited
I feel
to
like
hear
I'm
the
in a
Indianapolis
helicopter
500.
right now, and
yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
This is going to be the ultimate death because now we can hear each other
There you
and
go.
everyone's just going to talk over each other.
Yep.
This is going to be the worst.
There it is.
we're now cutting to live traffic with Hector.
That's right.
405's backed up to the looks to be about the La Brea Tar Pits.
All
I
the
don't
way
know.
to San Diego.
all the way to San Diego.
Oh my
There
God.
it is, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so we're using the headsets now. Headsets kind of freezes up a little bit, and we have the
Yeah.
microphones constantly in front of us, so
Yeah.
you won't have a lot of this
Good
happening.
sound
You can't
throughout,
hear us all of a
where
sudden.
you can't see our faces because
That's
the
right.
microphones are like right here.
That's right.
When we
that's
talk
right.
about Iron Fist, we can really talk
You
about
can actually
Iron
do
You
the
can
motions.
Kung Fu. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
already better than everything that happened in season
I
one.
know. Except for that scene with Louis Tan where he played the drunken master. That
yeah.
scene was
That was
tight.
pretty cool.
He was
That
really
was
good,
pretty
but
cool.
yeah, I was better than Finn
Yeah,
Jones
that was
by
better than
far.
Hey, does our
Definitely.
hyperdrive this upcoming
Sunday.
Sunday have a theme or a name?
Action.
Action movies.
Action movie hyperdrive.
Action movies, boy.
So this Sunday, starting at noon, we've got a whole bunch of RPGs planned. I think one of them is Fast and the Furious, GM by Cameron.
No, we're pausing
Wait,
that.
wait. Let
Oh,
Zach.
oh,
Let Zach
let
take
Zach
the
do
reins.
it.
Let
We're
Zach
pausing
take the
it
reins.
for good reason. For good
Yeah.
reason. We're gonna get that one right.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh,
Is Keller gonna be on that one?
We're trying to get him here.
Keller better be on that
We're
one.
trying. Emily's going to be GMing that. Yeah, Texas all the way. We messaged everyone we know from Texas asking if they want to be on that. We also are doing a gender flip James Bond.
Okay. Okay.
We're
that
doing.
means boys are girls and girls are boys.
Yep. Yeah.
Really?
Lucas is going to be the Bond boy.
Yeah.
Okay. The Bond boy.
That makes
I
sense.
dig it. I
Yep,
dig it.
Yep. Yep. I'm going to be doing a Mission Impossible RPG with the Tin
Okay,
Candle system.
okay.
Since it's really hard to
So
win.
you're gonna kill
That's
people
great.
It's going to be really
throughout.
fun.
Yep.
And there's one more. Why did my brain just blank? Oh,
Last
there's,
Action Hero.
there's a
Crank,
crank.
crank, crank.
There's a crank,
Crank.
RPG.
We are doing it. Yes.
We are
Holy
doing
crap.
a live IRL crank RPG. I
Okay.
will be playing Chef. Chelios,
So you'll be
and
running. Yeah.
I'll be running everything, and Lucas will be running alongside me as the GM. And we're gonna be doing.
Where are you guys gonna go?
Uh,
Just around
Everywhere.
here, bothering people.
There's a
you
playground.
know, we'll figure it out.
Sorry, Zach.
And then I feel like there was one more that would that.
Is there an Arnold Schwarzenegger?
There is. That's the other one.
Oh, is
Last
there?
Action
Okay.
Heroes.
Heroes.
It's going to be all
Multiple.
the Arnolds from the other universes can
Multiple
come in.
Arnolds.
So
Okay.
everyone at the table
Okay.
will be playing a different Arnold Schwarzenegger from a
Yeah.
different
That's
film.
great.
That's fantastic.
That's going to be really fun. It's going to be a really, really over the top, really fun thing.
Nobody can hear you, Adam.
Oh, yeah, here. Twitch.tv/hyperrpg. It's gonna be really fun.
Nice.
Starting
nice,
at
nice.
what? 11 a.m. noon.
Noon to midnight.
Noon to
Oh,
midnight
and
Sunday.
we just booked this awesome group of improvisers, Resistance Improv. They do a weekly show, and it's one of the best in LA. That is a
Interesting.
hour-long action film improv every week. And we booked them, so they'll be 11 p.m. to midnight at the end of the day.
Awesome.
Are
So
they
they're
straight
gonna-
up like action
Awesome.
stars too? Can they do backflips and stuff?
They're stunt guys. and
Wow,
improvisers and stuff.
that's
It's crazy.
dope.
It's gonna
See?
be really fun. It's
That-
gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Over
be
the
awesome.
top. Yeah, that's good.
That's
good.
awesome. That's awesome. Thanks, Zach.
Cool. He said best improv in LA, but
That's
I
a lot of
don't
cool
think
stuff
he's
happening.
seen Count Gumdrop. Count Gumdrop. He has not seen Count
No,
Gumdrop.
I think he has.
And
he
you
has.
have. Damn
He
it.
did.
Yeah, so tune in on Sunday. We're going to have a lot of fun. We do these every single month at the end of every single month. So just a lot of fun, RPGs, a lot
Yeah,
of people coming
yeah.
in, hanging out, having a good time. And it's why is Naeem looking at me like that?
Naeem looks like he.
Huh?
Oh
Tight,
my
tight,
God,
tight,
what's
tight.
mad?
Things are
What's
happening.
Is there any other housekeeping that we need?
The other thing, if you're listening on the podcast on iTunes or SoundCloud, please make sure you check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/hyperrpg. Or if you don't know, there is a podcast version of this available on SoundCloud and iTunes and
now you
wherever
know.
other podcasts are sold.
Now
Yep.
you know.
And now Naeem's going to come
All
over
the
here and slit my throat. What's happening?
Where all the podcasts are sold.
We want to make
Um,
sure you're okay, Naeem. We're here for you.
We love you,
You
bud.
good?
So you need us to keep doing what we're doing so that you can do whatever it is you have to do.
So
Okay,
don't
got
focus
it,
on
got it, got it.
Naeem
That's
over
right,
there
that's
in the
right.
corner. So ignore Naeem.
Well, with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's get dangerous.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Darkwing Duck.
We're going to start this
First
off on a
up.
little bit of a very controversial topic.
Yeah, this sucks.
James Gunn has well, let me start again. Disney has not officially announced this. This is coming from Variety. Variety has confirmed that James Gunn will not be coming back for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. James Gunn had a meeting with Alan Horn recently, who's the studio chairman at the Walt Disney Company, more or less kind of as a courtesy to James Gunn to sort of hear him out, to sort of get a sort of an understanding of where he's coming from and all that sort of stuff, obviously following the tweets that came out.
Now, question, was
Yes.
it a meeting with James Gunn or James Gunn's representation?
Both.
Or both. They
The
were
reps,
both there.
James Gunn and Alan Horn. No Kevin
And-
Feige, because Kevin Feige is apparently traveling in Europe on the set of Spider-Man Far From Home.
And other follow-up question, is this, because we talked about this a little bit before, what are the sources for this article? Are there no sources? Is this all just like a source close to Disney said?
Yeah.
Because they're not revealing who their sources are.
So Disney did not comment on this story. They didn't answer any questions. Variety just said that a source. They didn't give any specific name or anything like that, but they did say that Disney did not want to comment or did not comment at all about this. So there is no official confirmation from the studio itself. You and I think, talked about it a little bit, that the possibility, I think what's likely going to happen, I think you said the same thing, once they announce the new director,
Then there'll be an
then there'll
official
be
press
some
release
sort of
from
a statement.
Disney.
Exactly.
And a statement that
hopefully
will
a
probably
joint statement between
include,
them and James Gunn.
Yeah, probably include James Gunn's support. Because we were talking about this. It's like, look, who's the most likely candidate to take over directing? I feel like it's Taika.
Steven Spielberg.
They get Steven Spielberg.
I
Yeah.
think it's going to have to be someone outside.
I agree.
I don't think
Not Taika Waititi.
I don't
already
think
at Marvel
anybody inside
Studios.
of Disney who's currently there as a director
Can
of
do
the
it.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't, not that they couldn't. I just don't think they would.
Okay.
I don't think they want that
And
pressure.
yes, it's a lot of pressure. This is a different situation than Edgar Wright leaving Ant-Man
It
and then
is.
Peyton Reed coming in and being
Exactly.
like, hey, I'll do it. This is
Right.
a James Gunn did not choose to leave.
Yeah.
He was fired for bullshit reasons. So now this other director has to come in and like
Right.
deal with that. And we were
Yeah.
saying like, dude, if they do this, they should not have a panel at Comic-Con
Right.
and risk this a director getting booed just because people are booing
Right.
that it's
The
not
the
James
situation.
Gunn, the
yeah.
situation.
Not
so
necessarily him. Yeah.
to me, I feel like best case scenario. Best case scenario is they rehire James Gunn, and Disney comes out with a statement. They're
Absolutely.
like, "Oh, on further, like
Review
further
or
review,
investigation, yeah.
we're not going to listen to alt-right, neo-Nazi, people
I
that
mean,
are
you would think
that are trying
Smear
to
attacks.
smear attacks that
Yeah.
are trying to silence critics of the president, because they turns out they don't actually care about the issues that they say they care about.
Right.
Because look at their own Twitter history, look at the whatever. That would be ideal, but.
Yeah.
For me, it would be like either somebody like a Taika Waititi, somebody who is a James Gunn contemporary,
Yeah.
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
who
yeah.
is his peer that could, a man or woman that could step up and direct the thing, and then it would be a joint statement with James Gunn being like, guys, this isn't an ideal situation, but
Yeah.
I want this movie to get made.
All my love and support
All
to
my I want the
whoever's- yeah.
cast to do it. I want my story to finish. I want the
Yeah.
story to finish. I love these characters, and this person's going to do it. And then the cast to come out and be like, "We're here. We're here for
Yeah.
James is in our heart, and he's going to be here with us in spirit." And
I don't think Dave Bautista's ever going to accept any other.
But
director.
only
No.
if literally it's James Gunn like calling Dave and being like, "Dave, like I really am I do mean
Yeah.
this. I want this movie. I want you
Yeah.
to work
Right.
this. I
I
want
want
you to
you
be
to
Drax.
finish
I
the
want you
story
to
that we
finish the
started,
story."
yeah.
And I do support this director taking it over.
Yeah.
That's a way that Dave Bautista, because that's the only way it's going to happen. Because if
Yeah.
they have to do press for this movie, every single reporter is going to ask the director and the
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah.
So famously, James Gunn is, and they're just going to be like, "God,
Yep,
stop
That's
asking
all.
about James
That's
Gunn."
what you're gonna hear. Yeah. So this, I didn't even think about that. This kills any kind of press junkets that you're gonna do in the future for this movie.
Yeah, it's going to be frustrating
Oh,
as hell. And I think a lot of
wow.
press outlets who partake in the junkets, they may legitimately have people at Disney who tell them like,
No James Gunn.
"We are not
questions.
talking about this.
Yeah.
Please keep it
Yeah.
restricted to the movie."
Because it feels like
Yeah.
it almost feels like you would have thought that they would have said that about Edgar Wright and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
But
right,
again,
right.
even
Peyton
with
Reed still.
getting
Yeah.
asked about it, and it's it's 3 years after 2015,
Yeah.
and his sequel came out, and it's just
Right.
him, and people are still going, "Hey, Edgar Wright was supposed to do the first Ant-Man, and he
Yeah.
has to sit there and answer these questions like,
Right.
yeah, the thing about Edgar's script is blah blah blah, and then I came in and blah blah blah."
Right.
Like,
It's
damn.
kind of the same
That's
thing, and I'm not saying that this is happening. I'm saying if it were to happen, like if someone were to come in and a new actor were to play Batman,
Yes.
all you would hear about is Ben Affleck, Ben
Ben
Affleck.
Affleck,
Like that's
but
all
yeah.
people be
Yeah.
asking about.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, exactly.
you gotta just kind of accept the decisions and the choices that are being made, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's for the better, sometimes it freaking sucks. In this
Yeah.
case, in my opinion,
Yeah.
it sucks because of
The-
because of
yeah.
what's happening.
The other thing too is like, I don't know if you guys saw Bob Chipman, Movie Bob's like
His-
post.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
did like a
Very
new
in-depth sort of.
new iteration of his of not just that, but he did a new video, sort of like an update
Oh, okay.
blog post,
Yeah.
Right.
which is a new version of kind of the show that he's workshopping, where
Right.
he went into detail. He basically had a discussion, unedited, of like what happens now, and he talked about this article, and he was saying he feels like a lot of this is put out. And it's specifically not cited because it feels as if Disney or whoever wants to sort of change the narrative
Sure.
and to try to put everything to rest
Yep.
instead of have people keep talking about
Yeah.
and keep tweeting, hey, hashtag rehire James Gunn,
Right,
rehire
right,
James
right.
Gunn.
Yeah.
Bob was saying, there's no sources in this. There's no official statement from Disney. There's no, and this thing was put out on a late, weeknight from Variety, which means that like it's a thing that it wasn't going to get picked up by the East Coast necessarily because they're
Right,
already
right,
like
right.
asleep. So it's going to
Because
wait
usually
until.
big articles come out on the East Coast first. They'll come out on East Coast time.
So there's a lot of things happening that, even though this article is saying like it looks like this is it, no James Gunn for sure. We don't know what happened in this meeting, and we don't
No,
know
we don't.
who benefits from this kind of news being put out there. And I feel like it's Disney because they're trying to shift the narrative a little bit.
Yeah,
as
of
opposed
course.
to
It's all PR at
it's
this point.
PR,
Yeah.
which like I get, but in most cases I would understand, and I'd be like, hey, you guys are doing your job. But in this case, I'm still frustrated with Disney as a company because you guys caved to this guy who has this background of he obviously doesn't actually give a shit about this stuff.
Right.
This
No,
was
of course
just
not.
targeted.
Yeah.
He just target.
harassment
He
campaign.
saw an easy target
Boom.
and he took it.
And this
Yeah.
James Gunn is very vocal
Yeah.
in opposition to Donald Trump. So he's
Sure.
like, let's get this guy off of Twitter. And
Not only
yeah.
that, the tweets that James Gunn made, he has
Yeah.
talked about them openly
Yes.
multiple times.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
a lot of the themes that are in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies
Yeah.
are very much about starting out as a certain type of person and character and the evolution of that character throughout the
Absolutely.
movies.
Absolutely.
And I feel like a lot of that a lot of that is possible in those movies only because of James Gunn as a person.
Right.
Like a lot of who he is interwoven into those characters.
Yeah.
Same with Robert Downey Jr.
Exactly.
He could not have worked as Iron Man if he did not have the sort of real life public past that
Yeah.
he had. And,
a very Tony Stark background.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Marvel Studios and then bought by Disney like took a chance on him.
Yeah.
And then other like actors have been coming out and because since this thing has happened, the problem is again, it's not even specifically James Gunn. People are pointing out
Sure.
like if this guy falls, these people will then target. The floodgates will open, and
Yeah.
they've tried to harass and target and get these people again. All of them critics of the president.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt, Sarah Silverman.
Yep.
Pretty much anybody affiliated with Disney who may have had like, they've made awful jokes on Twitter
Yeah.
or they've had disgusting material as a stand-up or whatever. Bobcat Goldthwait,
Yeah.
who does the voice of one of the little goblins from Hercules, one
Yeah.
of the demon
Yeah.
guys. He came out in a statement in support of James Gunn, and he's like, hey, Disney, if you want to fire him, you should
Remove.
probably fire me. And also, you should check in with James Woods, who voices Hades, and I'm pretty sure you guys just had him come back and do some Disneyland, like, parade thing to voice
Wow.
Hades. You all should check his Twitter. You all should check with the type of stuff that he's saying.
Right,
and,
right, right.
and these actors are coming out in support going, like, if
Read the room.
read the room. And if Disney if Disney really truly believed in kind of what they're pushing right now, which is
Right.
like we cannot forgive James Gunn for
Yeah.
what he's done. It's unforgivable. We're firing him. They should fire half of the people they are currently employ.
Sure.
Absolutely.
They shouldn't work
Absolutely.
with so many artists and actors
Yeah.
and because of their previous work and even like look, man, Chris Pratt has made gross jokes in an improv on the outtakes for Parks and Rec.
Right.
Is he going to be fired from Guardians of the Galaxy? Like
Yeah.
he's made jokes that a lot of people would be like, that's disgusting.
Right.
Even Guardians themselves, it's like they make a Jackson Pollock joke. Are we canceling Guardians of the Galaxy? Like
Yeah.
how far is Disney
Where's the
going
line?
to?
Yeah.
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 In terms of look at the bigger picture here. Yeah, there's a gross joke in those movies, but what is the movie about? How many
Exactly.
like
Right.
Batista said, how many millions of people have these movies inspired to
Right.
to do good? So it's frustrating that that this thing has happened in this way.
Yeah.
And
I just think it's real shitty that they caved so quickly. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't even a like.
It just
okay.
was a reaction.
Yeah,
Do
it
an
wasn't even a
investigation.
like. Okay, James, let's have like a discussion. Let's take however many days it takes to try to clear this out, and then we'll figure out what's really going on. I feel like what's his name? The guy that's running Disney now.
Alan Horn.
Is he the guy?
Bob
Is he the
Iger?
guy?
So Alan Horn is one of the chairmen.
Who made the decision?
We don't know.
It's
We
not
don't know.
100% clear because Bob Iger or Alan Horn is the chairman, one of the chairmen of Disney. But I have a feeling that the decision probably came down to Alan Horn, Bob Iger,
Right.
and I think
board
even
of
Kevin.
directors?
Yeah, and I think even
Feige?
Kevin Feige.
Well, the rumors say that Feige's backing up James
Yeah.
Gunn. And
Yeah,
I
I've heard
also
that
think
too.
it's really shady that they had this meeting when Kevin Feige's out of
out
the
of town.
country.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing that every
Yeah.
business does, which is shady business bullshit,
Yeah.
knowing that, hey, a person's going to be out of town.
Yeah.
Let's have
To
this
play
meeting.
devil's
Right, right,
advocate,
right,
I
right.
wonder if they purposely did it that way because Kevin Feige wants to support James Gunn. He wants him to be a part of the movie,
I guarantee
but
that's
he also has to has to kind
be
of
the company man.
look,
Yeah.
look at the timing.
So he doesn't want to necessarily face him and be like,
Yeah.
"We can't have you back."
Yeah.
This
That's-
happened the
I'm sure it
morning
hurts him
that
too.
James Gunn was supposed to be in Hall H.
Yeah,
Yeah.
promote his new movie.
To promote his new
Yeah.
movie, and
Yeah.
you know he was going to get some Guardians questions.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
this was going to be a big moment for James, kind of breaking away from what he was doing, but also addressing what he was
Yeah.
doing. And so maybe Feige being away, being another one, like
Yeah.
whoever the guy that did this knew that there were going to be people coming in to support him.
Yeah,
But he just engineered it to just right at the right time to
Yeah.
drop this bomb, and then
Yeah.
it
Yep.
ended up being a shit show.
yep.
The other thing too
So-
that I think about, and this will end up being a good example of this, is like even these huge companies like Disney, Warner Brothers, Fox, whatever. I feels like sometimes they're not equipped. They do not have departments
Yeah.
that understand what's happening with online targeted harassment. They don't
They're
understand.
old school.
They're old school.
They don't get it.
They don't have departments that are like, "Hey, are we being hacked by Russia?" Like they
Right.
don't fucking know. Like their social media,
Yeah.
you
Their
know,
HR department is very just worried about
Yes.
internal stuff,
So,
and now you have to sort of like
when I
spread
see
outward.
this kind of stuff and the things that are happening with Facebook and Twitter in the past couple months and years, literally like shaping an election,
Right.
you know, influencing these huge things that like
Right.
targeted harassment is such a crazy, it's
Mm-hmm.
insane. And they're only now, I feel like there are studies where people are coming out and going like there is a serious problem with accountability on the internet.
Yeah.
This is just water. This
Account
isn't-
of Italy, account of Italy, yeah.
account of Italy on the internet. but it's like it goes back to things like Gamergate and now Comicsgate and
Yeah.
these movements that are like these people, and there's so many ties to like neo-Nazis and
Yeah.
the alt-right, and there's
Right,
things
right.
where it's like these people know what they're doing and they're targeting people that don't know what's
Absolutely.
happening, and these companies are not equipped to like
They're
because
just
that's why they
reacting,
had a snap reaction as
Yeah,
opposed to like
exactly.
so, you would think if somebody knew who
Right.
this guy was, who
Right.
was like, he would have been like, oh, he's an alt-right cuckoo,
Yeah,
cuckoo
yeah.
puffs. Like, we're not gonna.
Let's look at this guy first. It's not like somebody comes into the room and says, "Oh, something's on fire out there." Are you gonna
Yeah.
believe that person right off the bat? Maybe.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
are you gonna look
You're
as
gonna
well?
double check.
Like, are you gonna be like, "There ain't shit out on fire out
Yeah,
here"?
you gotta
know?
do your
Like,
own due diligence.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just I hate this snap reaction. I even hate the fact that
It was such a surprise at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Like of all
Oh yeah,
days
it
for it to
sucked.
happen.
Right.
I didn't believe it.
I didn't either.
I was like, what?
I got a notification on my phone. And I'm like, this
Yeah.
cannot be right. What am I reading?
it was such a deterrent too for the future of the franchise too.
Yeah.
Like, think about what this is gonna do if James Gunn doesn't have that conversation with Dave Bautista.
Right.
Mhm.
Like, not only is James Gunn's out, you're James
Yeah.
Gunn's, James Gunn's,
Guns- the guns are gone.
Guns out.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have Drax gone,
Yeah.
and then who knows who's gonna
follow
who's
suit.
gonna follow behind
Yeah.
him because people love him too. So it's just gonna. I don't know if Guardians is outside enough for
Yeah.
them to be able to like, oh well, we'll just put new Guardians in
Yeah,
the Guardians of the
yeah.
Galaxy, but that's gonna be shitty because you didn't close out the arc either.
Right.
This is just. I don't know, man. Some conversations need to happen internally where
Yeah.
I'm
they
sure
need
they
to
are.
just let
but-
James finish out his contract. Just let him
I
finish
mean-
his third movie.
Well, this is the interesting thing. Like, obviously, Dave Bautista has been one of the most vocal supporters of James Gunn, and he's talked about
Mm-hmm.
how if James Gunn is not brought back and they use a brand new script and story, like
Yes.
he's done. He wants to be released from his
So-
contract.
Right.
He doesn't want to
Right.
participate.
So
in
then
it.
they were like, well, we're going to use the script.
Exactly.
They did say that, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, that's cool, but kind of shitty, but fine. That's
Well,
that's
so
something.
I did a little bit of reading, and apparently, like the rule set for the DGA versus the WGA, it's a lot more complicated.
Okay.
So it almost kind of forces Disney to have to use, or to at least credit James Gunn and use his script.
Sure.
Okay.
And requires the new filmmaker, whoever's coming in,
Right.
because nothing has been shot, to put his own stamp on the script or the story,
Gotcha.
and then that person will get at least directing credit.
Okay.
So I think that's part of the reason also why they're not just scrapping the whole thing, because I'm sure there's elements of it that are really good, that are a really beautiful way to tap the story that like they can't avoid. They can't avoid
when James Gunn
addressing it.
Turned it in.
Yeah.
He like social media an image, and he was like, "This is one of the most heartfelt." He said something like, "This project is my heart," and then he like turned it in.
I'm gonna start crying.
And then Disney was like, "Huh? That's your heart? Well, you're fired
your
because
heart.
we're scared. We're scared of Nazis, so
Yep.
we're gonna
Yep.
fire you."
Yeah, I think all around right now this situation is really tough, and I think it's going to require James Gunn and Marvel and Disney to sit down, agree on something, some direction, some replacement or whatever, and James Gunn to come out and say like I am in support of this. Even though it's a tough situation, but
it's shitty.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, at the end of the day, I would want this to be a James Gunn movie. Honestly, I want him to finish telling his story. I
push it a couple of years.
I almost, if that's quite honestly, like, if they were like, we're not going to do it, I'd be fine with it, even though it sucks, because like I want to see the end of those character stories.
I mean, we got to, because we're in such a place with Infinity War that like this arc is ending, you know, like the guard is changing. Things are going to be happening that we don't know of yet. And it would have been nice to finish out the 3 set of Guardians movies. But
for sure.
I'm hoping whoever comes in is a James Gunn supporter at least. And is just like, hey, like
I don't think you can come in otherwise, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. What if they're like, well, we're gonna hire somebody who like has nothing to do with any of this and has no opinion either way.
That would be the stupidest move on Disney's part.
But think about the stupid move they're making. Like they don't care. They'll derail the future of the franchise and they'll derail whatever is happening just to not seem like they side with this kind of people. So it's not a great decision.
It sucks. We'll see. But I definitely would like to hear everyone's opinions about it in the comments. It seems like from most of the people that I've interacted with on social media, everyone has been very supportive of James Gunn, and they all think it's kind of ridiculous that this whole thing is happening.
Supportive of James Gunn, but not supportive of some of the jokes that he makes.
No,
some of the jokes were very off color.
Of course. And I think you have to look at it like, what did the person say?
Right.
But where have they come?
Exactly.
How far have they gone? How far have they evolved and changed? And like, what have they said about those things? Because it's not like they were discovered and he was like, no, this is misinterpreted. He's like, no, this is what I said. I made a mistake.
He owned up. He apologized.
Exactly.
And a lot of people have been discussing it with like that whole brand of humor. That edgelord humor. That very like South Park. Like we're gonna say the most offensive thing ever. Like. You know, I think James Gunn's brother said it best, Sean Gunn. He was like, my brother used to think that was the kind of thing that would help him in his life and in his career.
Exactly.
And then he realized that, like, being empathetic and having his heart and using his heart that he already had, that our mom taught us, you know, was the most valuable thing. And I've seen him grow. Like, he summed it up, and I was like, yeah, that's called growth of a person, and I believe it.
Star-Lord.
Yeah.
I agree with Fedior. I still don't believe this is the end of it. No, I think there's still a lot more to the story that will be eventually unraveled. It may not be when this new director is announced. It could be a year from now. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Man, it would be so cool if Kevin Feige like pulled some weight, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
If Kevin Feige was like, we have made the most successful fucking franchise in history.
We made you
like
more
$20 billion or something. Like this year alone, we're like at $2-3 billion. Like. Let us bring this
swing
guy
that Feige
back.
dick.
I mean,
swing it.
Look, it's honestly because
of the chain.
It's all because of a guy like James Gunn that we are even we've even accepted the cosmic universe in the first place. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But moving over to the world of DC, I am very, very excited about this. The Arrowverse is officially bringing Superman and Lois Lane together into the 3-episode crossover. This is going to be rad.
There's a lot of dope DC news.
There's a lot of dope stuff happening.
This is great. Tyler Hoechlin's coming back. A lot of people really loved his Superman from Supergirl.
He looks great.
That's exciting.
He's awesome.
Looks great.
The thing that I love about him and what they did for Superman is they just let Superman be Superman.
Yeah.
And because it's the television universe and it sort of can be all these different shades of like, I mean, look at Legends of Tomorrow. It's the most ridiculous superhero show on television.
And I love it for that. Fluffy thing that they had.
Oh God,
The big
Bebo?
Bebo.
Yep.
Bebo loves you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Bebo.
So I love it for that. And I love the fact
Yeah.
that they have just sort of embraced that type of Superman. But I'm very excited. So this is going to be there's an annual crossover that happens on the CW every single year. This year it's starting on December 9th and goes till the 11th. It will be the Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl. Flash and Supergirl are going to swap days. This is the first one that will not involve the Legends of Tomorrow.
Ooh.
But
okay.
Superman and Superman and Lois Lane. Lois Lane has not been cast yet. The casting process is going to be happening very, very soon. So I'm just super stoked to see Superman and Supergirl, and then to see Superman with the Green Arrow and the Flash.
Yeah.
And
that's gonna be
Batwoman.
dope.
And which might also
yeah.
mean maybe Batman.
I mean, so here's the thing. So Batman and Gotham City has been teased and
Yes.
referenced so much, not
Yeah.
even just in the Supergirl
Right.
alternate universe.
But in
Earth,
Arrow.
What is it? Earth. Where Earth?
3?
I can't remember what Earth she's on. Whatever the case
wanna
may
say
be, but
it's-
it's been referenced on her Earth and in the Arrow in Green Arrow's universe. So many references. If you just look up Batman references, in the Arrowverse, there's like a 6-minute video that I watched today where they mentioned Bruce Wayne and Gotham City.
Yeah.
But now with the inclusion of Batwoman, we are officially bringing Gotham City and the Batverse into the Arrowverse, which I think is super, super, super exciting.
Earth 38.
Earth 38, that's
Earth
what it was.
38
that's what it
is the
was.
one that has Supergirl and Superman
Yep,
and
gotcha.
that
whole
world.
universe.
Yeah.
The EPs made a statement about the idea of bringing Lois Lane into the universe. They said, "We couldn't be more excited to introduce Lois Lane to the Arrowverse. This dogged, determined, and brave reporter will make for a strong partner to Superman and an amazing addition to our universe of DC characters." And I think it's very, very true. And I'm curious to see sort of how Lois Lane is brought into the story. If she is sucked into the situation that's happening and is one of the characters that has to be rescued, which is what brings Superman over.
Yeah.
But again, I've loved the crossover episodes. I think they've been
so
super,
good.
super fun.
They're so
I
good.
love seeing characters like Martian Manhunter interact with all these other characters as well. But I love the fact that finally, I think at some point you had to bring Superman in.
Sure.
You cannot not do it.
Yeah, no, and
You
what
know?
what this does is it creates hype for any future crossover episodes
Dude.
as well. Like, will we eventually see the Justice League cross over
So
in like all
sick.
these worlds?
Yeah.
Which would be really freaking cool.
I know.
You mean like movie Justice League?
No, like
The
a
TV
TV
Justice
version
League.
of the
The TV
Justice
Justice
League.
Yeah,
League. Sure,
like
sure.
a TV Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
We'll have
yeah.
a TV Batman. We'll have a TV Aquaman.
Be
We'll have a
interesting.
TV. I mean, we already have a TV Flash.
Exactly.
Like, let's get a
Green Lantern.
Is Hawkman already? No,
Hawkman.
has
Yeah,
been
he's
Hawkman's
been
been
in,
on there,
he's
yeah.
been in
Yeah, he's been in this
Hawkman and
already.
Hawk Girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see? So he's there.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's true.
The possibilities are
John
endless.
Jones and
At this point, there really is no character they can't do
Right.
because like
It's like
if I was like, oh, I don't know if they could do Plastic Man. They've been
Right.
doing Elongated Man on the Flash.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't know about Martian Manhunter. They've been doing it.
Yeah.
Aquaman. They tried to do a pilot 10 years ago.
did with Justin
Spin off,
Hartley.
spin off of
wasn't
Smallville.
ready. The world wasn't ready.
wasn't ready, but it's like if they thought that they could do a show,
mhm.
then you can have an Aquaman character
Yeah.
cameo
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the Arrowverse.
Well,
like,
plus I think, like, to be completely honest, the fact that they've done Superman,
Yes.
the greatest
It's-
hero in the
yes.
DC universe, you can at that point do Wonder Woman, Batman, and it wouldn't fucking matter.
exactly.
I agree.
exactly.
I've
It wouldn't
accepted.
matter, yeah.
I've accepted that we have big screen Henry Cavill,
Yep, sure.
small screen Tyler Hoechlin. I'm fine with it.
Oh, perfectly okay with
Just
that.
bring in everyone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Let's
I've
do
also
it.
landed on a place now where I'm like, when Arrow first started, I was like, I don't know, it's not really for me.
Yeah.
Flash came out, I'm like, this is a great first season, and
Yeah.
it's started
Yeah.
growing on me. But I was always like, movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I'm at a place where I never thought I would say this, but I'm like, I think this thing happened. Like this
It
thing happened
works.
where I'm like, now like the Arrowverse is my like sort of ideal DC universe in live action right now, and the movies are like bonus. The movies are
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'll see what you got.
Yeah.
I'm excited about. Yeah, Aquaman looks dope. Yeah, whatever. Are we ever gonna get Batman again? I don't fucking know. Who knows? but with TVs, I'm like Batwoman. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be great
Yeah.
because like they've got a proven track record.
Right.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
season in and season out. Like I'm like more shows.
And
Black
even some of
Lightning, great. Boom,
Yeah,
boom,
and even some
boom.
of the shows that maybe aren't as good,
Sure.
they have moments where they are
Oh.
very, very good.
Yeah.
You
And
know, like
they,
Arrow's
you know,
one of those shows
yeah,
for me.
dude. And I'm downloading these soundtracks over here to listen to while I read like Green Arrow and Flash
Yeah,
comics, and it
yeah,
works. Like,
it does,
so this
yeah.
has given me my DC like needs,
fix,
my
yeah.
fix.
Yeah.
If I'm
Fixing
over
it.
here waiting years for movies, and I'm still waiting
Sure.
for characters like Booster Gold and all this shit over here, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Pooch!
I'm like, okay, well at least with TV, there's
this
like
might
an
be
abundance
actually
of
the
stuff.
best way to get Pooch as Booster.
Dude.
Is
Because
the, is
Pooch
the
isn't a-
Arrowverse.
is-
Please.
he's not an established actor yet.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
he
On a
comes
TV
in,
show?
dude,
he's-
dude.
he-
would
I
crush.
bet you if he
He
was
would
at
crush.
least able to do it on the TV show,
Yeah.
it would make his life.
It would be
Gentlemen,
so sick.
I would donate my left nut.
I'll donate my right.
To 2
and
nuts.
Adam has to donate his ding dong.
We'll mail. We'll mail
no.
No. He needs that. You hold on to that. You hold on to that.
Okay.
We'll mail the 2 nuts to the casting offices of the Arrowverse at the CW to just be like, get him in the room.
Just slide it across the table.
This is just. Can we interest you in these balls? Just to get Pooch an audition. I would give my left nut.
Authentic Mexican nuts, right there.
Here we go.
Right there.
There we go.
I got you.
Just for him to get an opportunity to audition, because it's like he would nail the audition, and then like they'd be like, oh, honey, we got to get you on Legends of Tomorrow,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
he would be everyone's favorite character, and then he'd get his spin-off show,
Exactly.
and then he would have his house in Vancouver.
He would be the first person to jump from the TV to the
movies.
Movies.
Yeah,
Yep.
is that they would be like,
y'all can think a pair of nuts for this.
Yep.
They'd be like, we're not going to do a based on the success of the TV show starring Alex Puccinelli. Warner Brothers has just greenlit a Booster Gold film. Finally, and then the fans would rally even harder than they did for Grant Gustin to be Flash. It'd be like, it's gotta be Pooch.
It's gotta be. No choice.
Pooch or nothing.
Hashtag Pooch's nuts. What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So
I really
make sure you guys tell
that guy.
Pooch on Twitter right now.
I love that man. If you don't
the
follow
best.
him on
He's
you don't
the
follow
best.
him on Instagram,
You making some mistakes in your
Yeah,
life.
he's been on a tear lately, and
his
been
beach
Yeah.
photo shoot.
with
so
the suit you
good.
made.
Oh my
What's
God.
that?
With the suit you made, did you see that one?
Oh, I
He
saw
wore
that
his
one
Vanilla
too. I
Ice suit.
saw that
Yeah.
one too.
Yeah.
So good.
He is
The best.
no exaggeration, the greatest human ever born.
Oh yeah,
We got to bring him on soon.
Yeah,
But
we'll bring
the,
him on
other,
again.
the other exciting thing that we kind of touched on was, yes, they are in fact bringing in Batwoman. The casting for Batwoman was announced while
Rose.
we were gone. Ruby Rose is going to be playing Batwoman. I'm just super excited that Greg Berlanti and everyone on the CW and in that world is very just open to experimenting with any character.
Absolutely.
Yes.
'Cause why not?
And a great fan favorite character. And
Yeah.
what's really
Right.
exciting too is like, yes, I really do hope that Ben Affleck, if he wants to, can play Batman again. I want to
sure.
see Matt Reeves' Batman movie. I want to see eventually the Batgirl movie.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to see Chris McKay's Nightwing movie. And when you get down to all of these Bat characters, it's gonna take a minute to
Yeah.
get to Batwoman.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a minute. What are you seeing? Poochster Gold? That's a kind
Not
donation.
for Pooch.
Not for Pooch.
Not for Pooch.
It will take
Two.
if they're trying to follow that order of operations and they're not skipping
Yeah.
around. It'll take a minute to get to Kathy Kane, Batwoman. But
Right,
with the
right.
TV thing, skip it. Like Batman's already established. Maybe
Exactly.
who cares? And it's so exciting because she's a fan favorite character.
Yeah.
Right.
And I loved what Stephen Amell said when he tweeted, to piggyback of the announcement, going, "We're so excited for you to join this world. We're so excited. We're so happy to have you." People like you and characters like you are what is going to keep this thing going into the future.
Dude,
He
Absolutely.
said, you,
Absolutely.
it's like this character is like the future of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a beautiful sentiment from
Well, I
Stephen
mean,
Amell.
I think again, that's what's so impressive about what Berlanti and Co have done is
Yeah.
they started with characters. I mean, Green Arrow is to the regular viewer, Green Arrow is kind of obscure. The only real
Yes.
history we sort of had with him was in Smallville when Justin Hartley played him, and I thought that was a good appetizer, I guess, for
Yeah.
what the character, who the character could be. So you went there, and then they introduced the Flash, and you're like, oh, the movie, this character deserves to be in a motion picture.
Absolutely.
Why are we putting him on a show?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Grant Gustin has been crushing it for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Supergirl Melissa Benoist has been absolutely killing it. So
Yeah.
it's like, yes,
Yeah.
keep Black Lightning has been incredible.
They've all
Legends has been
like
great.
earned it. Like every
Yeah.
one of these actors.
I'm
and
just
casts,
proud that
yeah.
more people are getting exposed to more, sometimes more obscure, sometimes even the major characters in
Yeah.
new ways. I think it's great.
I really like the fact that people are accepting them so much
Totally.
too. Like they could put their heart and soul into it. If
Yeah.
the fans aren't into it, then it's not going anywhere.
yeah.
The fans are ready. Like all of us DC fans are really ready for something like
For
this.
sure.
And if this is all we're gonna get right now, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
like I
super
said,
happy
dude,
with
it's
this.
more than enough, dude.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
abundance of.
I can't keep
Goodness,
up.
yeah,
Like,
I know.
can't
And
keep
that
up with
doesn't
everything that's coming
even
out.
and that doesn't include the stuff that's going to be on the DC Universe app.
Right.
Correct.
Which
Yeah.
we talked in one of the
There's
casting
a bunch of
sessions.
stuff
Those
going on
shows.
there.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
Batman. Can't wait to see that show. It's gonna be weird.
I want to see what that is all about.
yeah, no. So it's super exciting. I'm super excited to see how this plays out, and if it works out, it's going to work out really well.
Yeah.
Batwoman will be getting her own show starting next
Yeah,
year.
and
Yeah.
she'll be
So
fine.
super
Yeah.
cool.
She'll be fine.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Keeping on track with DC, was not expecting this.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer is coming back to the DC universe.
Now,
He'll be
why is this
scoring
happening?
Wonder Woman 1984.
Is this because not that I'm not excited, but I'm
What-
so
what are you
curious
complaining about?
because in the news it says
Sure.
Hans Zimmer retired from superheroes.
He did.
Right.
Hans Zimmer did the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yes.
Hans Zimmer oversaw some Iron Man stuff. We talked about that
Yes.
last week. Like
Yes.
he helped with
proteges.
his protege.
Protege, yeah.
Hans Zimmer also
Steel.
helped did Man of Steel.
Mhm.
He also did The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
After James Horner, I don't know if it was after he passed away or he just didn't sign on to do the second one, or maybe Sony went in another direction.
Yeah, I think
forget
you're right.
whatever.
I don't think James Horner passed away yet.
But whatever the case, they turned to Hans Zimmer and like Pharrell and all these different musicians and artists to do like the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Hans Zimmer has been doing superheroes for like a decade plus, more than that. And so he said he retired, so now he's coming back. Is this because Harry Gregson Williams wasn't available for the sequel, or did Warner Brothers want to go in a different direction? Because I loved his score. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, so the big reason why Hans Zimmer says that he was leaving superhero genre was because he did the score for Batman vs. Superman, and he had such a hard time creating a score or a theme for Batman, having just done a whole trilogy of movies with Christopher Nolan. To him, it was too hard for him to go from Christian Bale to Ben Affleck. It didn't work, which is why he brought on Junkie XL to help him. So Hans Zimmer was kind of more focusing on the Superman and Wonder Woman stuff, and then Junkie XL was focusing on the Batman stuff. So I think he was like, you know what? I think I've kind of contributed what I want to contribute to this, because I remember we were talking about a couple years ago, he was going to go on and do like Aquaman and Flash and introduce their themes in Justice League, which obviously like that whole thing changed.
Cool, but that's a lot.
It is.
That is a lot.
So I don't, if Hans Zimmer feels good about coming back to the DC universe and getting an opportunity to fully explore Wonder Woman aside from just her main theme, I'm totally open to it. Is it Rupert Gregson Williams?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I also agree. I thought the score that he did for the first movie was great. But they did not announce him as a returning crew member in the official press release when they started shooting the movie. So I guess it was open to anybody.
Now, question for you here. What's this? Who's doing this?
So Hans Zimmer, so that kind of goes back to the whole thing of like him retiring, but not, because now he's coming back and he's also doing the score for Simon Kinberg's X-Men Dark Phoenix.
That's too much. That's too many superheroes.
Two superhero movies in 1 year next year that he'll be doing.
I know every other movie's a superhero movie, but still, it's like, bro, pick a lane. Like,
I guess.
Is he married? Does he have kids?
I have no idea what Hans Zimmer's personal life is like.
Maybe he has kids. Maybe he has kids who are like really into superheroes now all of a sudden.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah. Or maybe he's got a nice little piece on the side there, who's kind of expensive, and he has to maintain a lifestyle.
Alex Ramirez also points out, yes, he's also he's coming back to do the score for the live action Lion King movie.
Fascinating.
Interesting.
I thought you were going to say, does he have kids? Maybe he wants to get out of the house. Maybe he wants to go to work.
Maybe he's tired of. Yeah, they're at the age where.
Have you guys had a chance to see Hans Zimmer live?
No.
You did.
I saw it twice.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Dude, his shit is like electric, dude.
It's
his stuff is so good.
It's so good.
I heard, I was watching something about like people who put together scores and live music with orchestras and things like that.
Yeah.
And they mentioned him, and they showed a little bit of what he does while he's performing. And
it's amazing.
He's got his own like style and flair that's just it's just I don't think it's going to be repeatable anytime in our lifetime.
When he works on movies with Christopher Nolan, Christopher Nolan doesn't show him any part of the movie. They just talk about the emotion in the scenes and in the sequences. And Hans Zimmer kind of just goes off and he just creates sounds. And he'll do a lot of suites. Like for The Dark Knight, he made a lot of suites. And then he'll send that off to Chris Nolan. Chris Nolan does not cut to music. He does everything just he lets the scenes and the dialogue kind of work itself out. And then he takes the suites, he cuts them all apart into pieces, and then he uses it that way. So I'm curious sort of how Hans Zimmer works when he does these movies with other directors. If it's more of that, where it's a lot of experimentation, or if it's sitting down and
just writing to the
showing
emotion.
them, because every director works differently.
And everybody who creates anything on movies works differently.
Exactly.
So I'm sure he has his own thing. He's a freaking genius, so he probably has some things that he does.
I've seen an ad for his little
dogs
what's
are having
happening?
Dog battle.
Was there a
kaiju big battle.
Was there a cartoon cat that ran by? What happened? He was like that thing.
Yeah, he slipped around and then there was just dust.
Yeah, I've been seeing those ads for months of that Hans Zimmer masterclass on YouTube.
I really want to just watch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen. It's that thing where they stopped airing the Kevin Spacey ones. They're not promoting those anymore. But Hans Zimmer, who he talks about his process a little bit. He's like, I'm Hans Zimmer. I do music for movies, and he goes, every score is a question. Or he goes, it's a conversation. He goes,
that's right.
Oh, it's a question. Oh, it's a bit of a dodgy question. And it's like, it would be really interesting to see how he works, because he is a creative genius. But
yeah. Ryan Smith brings up a good point that I forgot about. Rupert Gregson Williams is doing the score for Aquaman now. So we're still gonna get Rupert
Great.
in the DCU.
Great.
So that could be great. Because
That'll
again,
be good, too. That's a
I
good match.
really love the score for Wonder Woman. It's really good.
What was that conversation like, though? He's like, you know who's the only person who can replace me? Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, right. Well, you look at a guy like Michael Giacchino. It's kind of the same thing. That guy can go from movie to movie to movie to movie. It's kind of crazy.
He is somebody who can replace someone like John Williams, the greatest composer of all time. When it's like, oh, we can't get Johnny Williams to do Jurassic, and it's like Giacchino. We can't get Johnny Williams to do Rogue One, Star Wars. Giacchino can do it. So
don't kick a dog, man.
Bud.
Sorry, they're just running around.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Don't kick
Kaiju.
dogs.
Kaiju, come here. I love you. I'm sorry.
I think that was Ninja.
Oh, sorry, Ninja.
Ninja.
Oh.
Come here.
Sorry, guys. I can't see under the table.
Come on, you poo Come on.
But yeah.
Oh, you good boy.
Hi,
He's making
bud.
his first guest appearance on the
Hi,
show.
Ninja.
Good boy.
Hi, buddy.
Hi.
He's so excited he might be on something.
What do you think about Hans Zimmer?
Ninja?
Ninja,
What do you think about Hans Zimmer?
What do you think about Hans Zimmer?
Cool. So yeah, I'm excited. I don't know. Let us know in the comments what you think about this. This is exciting. I think there's a lot of people out there.
That's what he
Oh my
thinks.
God! Look at Bert.
Sorry, man. Hey,
What are you
Ninja, go.
What are you doing to his dog, bro?
Go. Come on.
Bert's jealous now because the dog made an appearance on our show before Bert did.
Before he did, yeah.
But let us know. I think there's a lot of people out there who love Hans Zimmer's Dark Knight trilogy themes. They love Man of Steel. A lot of people think Man of Steel is one of the greatest superhero soundtracks. I don't disagree. I think it's a really good score.
Yeah.
So
Which
it's
one?
exciting. The Man of Steel soundtrack.
Man of Steel.
it's very good.
It's very
very
good.
good.
It's very good.
Yeah, there are, it does different things in a classic John Williams Superman
Of
score,
course.
but the things that it does very well.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
very effective. I'm kind of sad about this news.
Uh-oh.
What is
Danny
it?
Boyle has exited Bond
yeah.
25, citing the classic creative differences.
This does kind of suck.
This does kind of suck.
They
yeah.
So they characterize creative differences on an episode of Teen Titans Go. And it was fucking hilarious. Because they were
That show's
literally
great.
they were literally beating the crap out of each other because
Yeah.
Robin decides he wants to make a movie,
Yeah.
right? And so the episode is
Great.
dedicated to him making a movie, and he looks like a director. He's got kind of like white bell bottoms on.
Yeah.
He's got his hair slicked back. And they're literally beating the crap out of each other. And then they stop fighting. They're like, it's just creative differences. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's
see.
how
I'm
it
picking
goes.
up what you're putting down.
That's what you're putting
Yeah,
down.
that's
Okay.
right. That's
okay,
right.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a bummer because the movie was supposed to start shooting in a couple of months, and Danny Boyle had worked with his writer on the previous movie, John Hodge, and they had sort of pitched an original idea. I think still sort of keeping what had
With
been
the Daniel
established
Craig
with Daniel,
timeline.
exactly. But normally the writing team that they have is Neil Purvis and Robert Wade, and they sort of went away from that and they wanted to create their own story. And the announcement was officially made on the 007 Twitter account. Michael G. Wilson, I almost forgot his name, Barbara Broccoli and Daniel Craig all kind of came together and they said like
Creative differences.
creative differences,
Well, you know what that
sort
means?
of putting it
Sure,
on
sure,
Danny
sure.
Boyle.
It probably means that like this happened a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
And maybe they
Yeah.
already have something else lined
Yeah,
up and
absolutely.
some
It's possible.
plan. And like, I know that another part of the news is like, hopefully they don't miss their November
Yeah.
next year
Release date,
release
yeah.
date. I feel like they could still, if they're just like on schedule, they could still do it. I was just thinking as I'm reading this, I'm like, part of me is like, it can't be that hard to make a James Bond movie. It's literally the most famous formula of any
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Apparently, they
But-
can do anything, just can't be black.
At the same, yeah, right.
He just can't
James
be
Bond
black.
can do anything.
Yeah.
Idris
Just not a
Elba
black guy.
actually
Can't be
finally
black.
Yeah.
said something to that
Yeah.
to that whole thing.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Something
was
about
like,
I didn't read
he's
it,
like-
but I
he's-
think he's
he
just saying
said-
like I'm not going to be Bond.
oh, did he? I thought
think
he
so.
the jokey thing he
okay.
said was like, he goes, I'm Elba, Idris Elba.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh shit, does that
Yeah.
mean? And he was like,
And
no.
then he cleared it up. He's like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
But now I'm thinking like it's probably the hardest to make a James Bond movie because we've seen the formula, because it's
Yeah.
so overdone in a way that like,
I guess.
you know,
I mean,
it's-
I can
Yeah.
see that, but at the
Sure.
same time, like, look at all the liberties they took back in the 60s.
yeah.
Sure.
Like, they just kept pumping them out.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had people with fucking ridiculous names. And I'm just like, okay, cool. This is where we came from.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this, I don't understand why it's put on such a pedestal at this point.
Right.
You know, like,
Right.
it's a spy
It's
action movie.
it's now no longer the one on the top of the pedestal. You know what the top action spy franchise is?
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
and
right.
and 10 years ago it was the Bourne trilogy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So it's like Bond has kind of been struggling. Now, when Skyfall came out, I feel like Bond was on top.
Yeah,
Oh, totally.
But
Right.
even then, that was 2012.
Yeah.
And that was in between like 2011's Ghost Protocol
Right,
and
right, right.
2015, you know,
Bourne,
Rogue Nation,
Rogue
the Mission
Nation,
Impossible
Back
movies.
when
So,
JJ
like,
had something to prove.
yes, right.
Yeah,
so
right.
now, and other directors had something to prove.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it can be on top, but you're right, Augustine. Like, they do put it up on this pedestal.
It's up
like,
on this pedestal for some reason.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, cool. But you had a villain named Octopussy.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to
Yeah.
do?
Right.
Like,
What are we
really,
doing here,
what are you
guys?
going to do?
Honestly, I've only liked. Sorry, not liked. I've loved 2 of the James Bond movies that Daniel Craig has done.
Oh,
Casino
okay.
Royale and Skyfall.
Yes.
The other 2, Spectre and what was
Quantum
it?
of Solace.
Quantum of Solace. I don't
like them.
dislike. Yeah, I like them.
I like them.
They're there.
Yeah.
And I'll watch them because they're part of his franchise.
And they're good.
But like
They have
Casino
good
Royale
parts.
and Skyfall, I'm all about these 2 movies.
Right.
Casino
those are
Royale is
great
my
movies.
favorite.
Yeah. those are
Skyfall's my
great
favorite.
movies.
Yeah.
I fucking love Skyfall.
Yeah,
Even though it's basically a Dark Knight ripoff. I'm like,
Sure.
who cares? Like,
But they're so just like the
Yeah.
quality is there. They're so
Yeah.
well
Yeah,
made.
dude.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, and especially because it's the 25th movie in the Bond franchise,
it's
you
like,
kind of feel like you need to do something
Yeah.
special for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's tough. But I currently I can't really think of a director off the top of my head who I'd want to see come in and take this over. Like obviously based on the recent success of the
Yeah.
Mission Impossible franchise, like I'll put Christopher McQuarrie on it,
Right.
Right.
But
or
it's,
put like
it's the
Christopher
same
Nolan.
thing.
But some of those
You know, it'd
directors
be
like they want to
great-
do their own thing. Like
Right.
I agree. I would like to see. I agree with Alex Ramirez. I would like to see a Christopher Nolan Bond movie, but I don't. I think personally that Christopher Nolan would be better suited for a Bond movie where he could do it with a new actor.
I get that.
Absolutely.
I
I
get
agree
that.
because Nolan's take on this is going to be very,
Very
different
different.
from anything else.
Yeah.
So you would almost need a brand new character.
Yeah.
He's not the type of guy to pick up somebody else's franchise.
Exactly.
Not at all.
But I would love
Yeah.
to see actors like Ben Whishaw, Naomi Harris, and
Yeah.
Ray Fiennes come back.
Oh,
And play
absolutely.
the same roles because they're so good.
We got to give us one more because Spectre
Yeah.
was not the best.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like with 5 movies, Daniel Craig, the next one could still, as much as I love Skyfall and Casino Royale,
Yeah.
you could make a better movie than those.
For sure.
You could make a movie that is like Bond. This
Yeah.
this is it. It's
Well,
maybe the
I
end.
mean, think about what they
Yeah.
did with Mission Impossible. We
Yes.
thought that was dead in the water,
Right.
Yes.
but they come out and everybody's raving
3,
about
4,
this movie.
5,
yeah.
6.
Rebirth.
With this
Yes.
one that just came out, it's like, holy shit, where's the end
Yeah.
to these Mission Impossible movies?
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
We thought we saw enough of Ethan
Tom
Hunt, but
Cruise will have to
apparently not.
die.
Right.
before
Yeah.
these movies
Like
stop
he
being
would
made.
have to have a severe accident on
Yeah.
stage for him not to do it anymore. you know?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
that's not going to happen because the man's a Scientologist. He's going to live forever. So.
That's true. That's true. That's when you. That's when you got that
Hey,
Zenmu power in you, dude.
Xenu.
Xenu.
Xenu. Yeah, hail Xenu.
Zenmu's a Marvel villain.
Zenmu's
Zenmu is a Marvel villain that brainwashed kids, a big furry white
Fing Fang
character
Foom.
Oh,
You're
God.
confusing with
60s.
Fing Fang Foom.
who brainwashed
boy.
children
Yeah.
via television.
Hey,
same thing.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
It,
that's right,
it is.
that's right.
It is the
Zenmu,
same thing.
Zen,
actually.
Zenu. Yeah,
Maybe that's where they got it.
probably. Yeah.
Let's talk about casting in the DC universe.
Oh, this is cool, dude.
series. Brendan Fraser is joining Doom Patrol. He's going to be playing Cliff Steele, aka
he had
Robot
a
Man.
very good time.
Brendan Fraser.
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 Oh, okay. I was
Fraser.
like,
From the
wait,
Mummy?
wait, Tarzan?
Yes,
Yeah.
Tarzan.
Tarzan.
George of the
Tarzan.
Jungle.
Oh no, George of the Jungle.
Oh yeah, George of the Jungle.
Yeah.
George of the
That's right.
Jungle is joining
Encino
this.
Man.
Yes, but
Yep.
his voice.
I know.
So here's the interesting
I know.
thing.
Oh,
So the
man,
character is a former
okay.
race car driver who would have died in a car accident that destroyed his body, except for his brain.
Cliff Steele.
Exactly. Brendan Fraser will
Okay.
appear in flashbacks
Yeah.
as Cliff Steele,
Yeah.
but during the, I guess, primary run of the story of what's
Yeah.
happening, he'll be Robot Man. He'll be providing the voice, and he'll likely be doing the motion capture for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so there'll be like a
So-
CG robot character
Yeah.
with Brendan Fraser's voice.
Exactly.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I think it's great.
I love Brendan Fraser. I think he's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I have missed seeing him in movies.
And more stuff. Sure.
Yeah, I think he's great in the Mummy trilogy. I think he's really good.
He's great.
Yes.
It's just he has not had, after those Mummy movies,
Yeah.
he has not had a good time.
No,
Yeah.
he
He
started
is-
going into a more dramatic route, and I don't think that really worked for him.
It
I think
did
he's
not,
better
or
served just being
It
a
might
more
not.
comic character.
It might not even have been that it didn't work for him, but
Yeah.
like audiences didn't want that.
Yeah,
Right.
He's
true,
a guy.
true.
You know, look, man. This happens all the time with like actresses.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time in Hollywood. That as soon as you hit 30, it seems like Hollywood's
Yeah.
done with actresses,
Yeah,
which is
yeah, yeah.
awful.
Right.
a lot of that shit kind of happened to Brendan Fraser. He
Yeah,
was a
true.
hottie. He
Absolutely.
was a hunk.
He was.
He was this six-pack
Dude,
abs.
in The Mummy, he
George
was like
of the
a
Jungle,
good-looking dude.
The Mummy,
Yeah.
Encino Man.
Yeah.
You know, in these roles where
What
he's
was the
half
one
naked.
with Elizabeth Hurley?
Bedazzled.
Bedazzled.
Hola Juan, hola
Come
Esteban.
on, he could
¿Dónde
play
es
Estoy
esta
hablando
biblioteca?
Estoy hablando
Estoy en la
español.
casa de mi tía.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
It's so
Great movie,
good.
right? Yeah,
It is. It's
yeah.
really good.
He was
Yeah.
Hollywood's darling at the time.
Yeah.
Es cocaína.
But
¿Cocaína?
Es cocaína.
¡Ay, mierda! Soy un narcotraficante colombiano. Fucking love that movie.
It's really
it's a
good.
great
So
movie.
good.
It's
but
really
he,
good.
With the
the,
fake
the guy
nose.
fell on hard times after all
Right,
of that.
because of casting and because of how audiences accepted him, all of that shit.
And personal.
Yeah.
unfortunate,
really? Is it
like big
drugs and alcohol
personal-
stuff?
No. It's I think it
I
was
think
like
it's more
felt-
financial stuff.
financial
Ah.
and like divorces and things like
Ah.
that.
Yeah.
He has no money
well,
left.
he has been having a bit of a comeback
Yes.
in the past
Yes.
couple years.
Yeah.
And if this is maybe his first step back into these kinds of roles and movies
Sure.
and genre, that's great. I mean, they tried to
Yeah.
cameo him in the first G.I. Joe movie.
Right.
Steven
Oh,
Summers,
really?
because Steven Summers directed
Oh,
The
that's
Mummy. So
right.
like in G.I. Joe
Yeah.
Rise of Cobra, remember
That's
that
right.
piece of shit with Channing Tatum and Marlon Wayans? Remember
That's
that piece
right.
of shit?
Yep.
Didn't we work on those?
Yes.
Movie, not Marlon Wayans, the guy.
No,
No,
yeah.
you're saying piece of shit Marlon Wayans. I'm like, not
Oh, no,
Marlon
no,
Wayans
no.
being
The
a piece
of shit, the movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody
Piece
in
of
that
shit
movie,
movie.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like Channing Tatum.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
Marlon Wayans.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
That movie was a piece of shit. Not
Oh,
even
yeah.
The Rock could save
Oh no.
that franchise in
I
G.I.
think
Joe
even
Retaliation.
he forgot that he was in
Yeah,
that
right.
movie.
The
because-
best thing about G.I. Joe Retaliation was that the director John Chu eventually did Crazy Rich Asians.
Yep.
Good for him. He's
Yep,
getting a
yep,
sequel.
Yep.
Good for him. But
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
thing, like he tried to have a cameo as like either Gung Ho or one of like the guy who was like training them for 2 seconds in that
Yeah.
crappy home base, and it's
Weird.
like.
Yeah.
Don't just do. You can't have a Brendan Fraser little cameo. Like
Yeah.
he's got it. Like I'm waiting for him to get a role in the MCU. I'm waiting for
Sure.
him to. He would be a great Shield agent, or director of Shield, or Hydra agent, or
Yeah.
one of these kinds of roles. It's
Yeah.
like not like a Robert Redford, but kind of where it's like we're not expecting him to be this action
Yeah.
star of it,
Right,
but like
right.
what if he's this side character?
Right.
And this could maybe be the beginning of like, hey guys, remember Brendan Fraser? Let's put him in more like
Yeah.
fantasy.
Let's
comic
get him
book
into more
shit.
stuff, yeah.
More stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jabberwocky brings up a good point. He's been doing a lot of TV work. He has been. He has been doing. And I've heard it's actually like, I haven't watched any of it, but from people, just little things I've read,
Yeah.
people are like, oh no, he's been really great. Like it's
That's
been good
good.
to see Brendan
that's
Fraser
That's
again.
good to hear. That's good to hear because the guy has everything going for him.
Yeah.
Agreed.
He just needs to pick himself up off his bootstraps.
That's right. That's right, baby.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Now I'm going to
George of
go
the
and
Jungle.
watch Bedazzled because, damn it, I love that movie.
That's a good movie.
It's so
That's
funny.
a good one.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about this awesome video.
That's right.
Put up by Slash Film. Slash Film went to Digital Domain, the studio that
Cool.
created the visual effects for Thanos. There was obviously, so whenever a VFX companies, they are sort of bidding on projects, they have to sort of prove their worth and prove that they can do certain things.
It's messed up.
Digital Domain created an amazing piece of test footage, utilizing stuff shot with Josh Brolin. I think the Russo brothers actually tweeted a photo from this many months ago of the
Yeah.
Russo brothers on
Yeah.
set with Josh Brolin just kind of like sitting
Right.
on a stage,
Right.
just fully all done up in mocap. And this test is incredible. So this video, if you want to watch it, it's on, I believe it's on Slash Film's YouTube channel. We're not going to watch the whole thing. It's like 11 minutes long, but I do want to show you guys this
The
test
test
piece.
footage, yeah.
The
Yeah,
test
yeah.
footage that got
bomb.
Digital Domain
Yeah.
the job. It's super
It's
impressive.
so insane.
Lucas, we ready? Cool. Here we go. Think my mouse died.
No, I heard that you were meaning to get in touch with me, but then I heard you were dead. And I also heard that you were a king, and various other things. But the fact is, Loki, you and I are not the sort people understand. The sort people fear. Now I got the information that I need, and now I have to break your neck. It's just the way it is. I'm just a messenger.
For each
God
shot.
damn.
So good.
Dude, the
So good.
subtlety in that.
Mute it and let's just watch
yeah,
like
yeah.
the
The
visuals of. Let's just watch everything that they had to go through to put
Yeah.
Thanos on here. You want to mute it, Adam?
Sure.
And Lucas, if you could just loop this while we're talking.
Yeah, so this video is great because for a lot of people who maybe don't understand the visual effects process, it goes through and it breaks down everything from doing a 3D scan of the actor,
right.
how they use the information in a 3D scan to create materials that they can then, so they have to basically put dots on these actors' faces
Yeah.
to represent all of the basically the entire muscle structure of the face. So when they translate all that stuff into a computer, they can then go through and actually animate
But
the
not even
Thanos
that. Like,
skin.
look at how much capturing has to be done. Like they get the body capture, they have to have the face capture, and then they put him in that room with 60 cameras to get different expressions out of him.
And this is happening live.
This is happening live.
That's a video game render.
So this, for example, so the thing that you saw, let me just backtrack really quick. This, what you see, it's called a volume. What it is, it's basically a bunch of cameras are set up in a room, and this actor will go into the volume with their motion capture gear, and what it allows them to do is it allows the filmmakers to actually go in handheld and basically create the scene,
create shots,
and the actor is performing, but then they can go in and sort of, I guess, reskin it.
Composite
the background, the look of the character onto it, whether it's Thanos or any other sort of alien character, Ebony Maw. So all these actors, when they play these roles, they play it in... They said that they even like constructed the sets inside of the volume so the actors could interact with different things.
I like this because they talk about how this one isn't as sterile as like other green screen environments because you can have, like right now what they're doing is they put motion capture equipment on those cameras as well so that you put it in the program and the camera inside of the program is moving along with that.
Surf's up, baby.
Surf's up, pioneered that technology.
And so this technology right here, this is basically what they see on the monitor when they are reviewing the shots or they're filming the shot.
Or they're so Josh Brolin is acting, and then we're seeing this
Russo
on a monitor because there's already a mock-up CG Thanos that they can again map over and use the data to see a rough version of like
what it's going to look
when
like.
it's all kind of done. Yeah, what's Thanos going to look like acting this scene as opposed to just Josh Brolin, so that they can tweak a performance or so they can get ideas or what have you. And on top of that, I mean, just with Josh Brolin and his performance, he apparently was using his size gauntlet when he was Thanos, and
I
it's like
wear that so
it's
bad.
Like, it's like it's not blown up to be the Thanos size, but it's Brolin size, so that Brolin could be the big, the bigger
feel
Thanos.
The weight,
feel
like,
the weight,
feel the power from that. And this is really impressive, where they're going into ZBrush and like putting in all those
textures
little details, tiny scars, tiny wrinkles, just everything.
This eye test right here that they did this early.
And that's the thing is that's the most impressive thing to me about this whole digital Thanos. For me personally, when I see digital characters, a lot of times the eyes are a dead giveaway.
Absolutely.
That it's CG. And obviously for some things that it's CG. If you can
look at that,
if you can sell me on the eyes and the expression, I believe it.
Look at that.
Look at that. This is the most real
that looks like it could be
reaction
makeup.
that I've seen.
That looks like makeup.
It looks amazing.
It's pretty great. And I also want to point out too that like I think one workaround that we found for that is that Thanos, the comic book character, doesn't have eyes like a human. He's rendered differently. A lot of characters don't have eyes like humans, right? Batman, when you read comics, it's just the white eyes. But maybe they tried to do that, but maybe it didn't work. With Mantis, it works because she has those big pupils. And it still works with Clementief's performance. But with Thanos, I feel like they were like, you know what? One shortcut we're going to need to have audiences connect to this character, just make the eyes human.
Absolutely.
Just make them Brolins. Just make them Brolins with that same, proportions of like pupil to iris to eyeball to, like when that feels like eyes to us, we buy it.
Exactly.
When
you sell that, you have liberty to do kind of anything you want.
Everything else can be weird.
Everything else can be weird. But look at these tests.
It's super impressive.
Insane.
And I could be wrong. But I believe that the ability to be able to record live like this on set and to actually have a skin, a low poly skin like that, I think that James Cameron and the Pace Company were the ones who made that possible for Avatar.
I think you're right.
Especially because in Avatar, it's not only characters, it's also all the environments are fake. And I think James Cameron has been working on this a lot. So for Avatar 2, 3, and all the sequels, they are able to see not fully high def, but a more higher depth, more detailed version of the environments and the characters, which is super impressive. Because you got to remember, it takes a lot of computing power for this to be able to happen live on set. A lot of computing power. But I really, really feel like it was important to have this available to them on set on the day. Because it tells you whether or not it's working.
Because it also takes a lot of the pressure off the animators as well. Because the best motion capture you can get always is the best source you want to work from. Basically, like, and we learned this all in our time in the industry. It's like the cleanest, the least work you have to do on the back end, the better the product is. Because Brolin's face comes through. Like you don't have to chop anything up. You don't have to enhance anything. anything too much. You basically just go off the action.
It's like Andy Serkis in the Apes movies.
There you go.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I think motion capture technology has added to digital characters. I feel like when there's no reference and they're just creating a character out of nothing,
right.
It loses that tangibility, that kind of reality to it.
Absolutely.
When you do it this way, Thanos feels so damn real.
Well, think about the creep factor with the CGI, the motion capture in that movie, that house that was alive, Monster House.
Sure.
That was all mocap, and also that Tom
Tintin.
Hanks movie. Tintin
is great.
Like there's a certain level of creepiness that comes with CGI motion capture.
Polar
Express, yes. It's a beautiful movie, but it's also kind of creepy.
A little bit,
They completely got rid of that with this.
Sure.
Like there's no creepiness to the motion capture at all,
Yeah.
and you feel real. You connect with Thanos' eyes.
Totally.
To pull that off, I was very impressed in the movie where I didn't have. There was no scenes with Thanos in them where I was like, oh, I don't buy this Thanos in this shot.
Yeah.
It was solid throughout. Which is very impressive.
So this was interesting too. So this sequence here, apparently originally when Thanos is walking on this water, it was supposed to be blood.
It was supposed to be
blood
the blood
of all
of
the
his enemies?
victims. Yeah, of all the enemies.
Wow.
And they were like, too much, a little too much,
It's a little dark.
too much.
It's a little dark.
The movie already being as dark as it was because of all the sort of like brutality and murder that happens, and the fact that all these characters sort of like disappear and turn into ash.
Right.
But this is a really, really cool video. Ben Pearson, who was the guy sort of like putting this whole thing together, did a really, really great job sort of going in depth and explaining to everybody how this was all made. And I really appreciate this, and I think we can really appreciate this because I think a lot of people will sort of maybe forget, but also just be uninformed on how this stuff is made. And it's a lot of work.
They made it look really easy.
Sure.
They pulled it off so well that you wouldn't know that it takes 7 different passes to get the right facial
and
animation.
Hundreds of different artists.
Hundreds of hours, like hundreds of just so much work to get that look so that you don't think twice.
And this isn't just a Thanos movie.
Right.
This
exactly.
is every character in the MCU
Right,
up to that point. So on
exactly.
top of Thanos, they're like, okay, we also have to make sure,
Enigma,
Rocket
like the Black
Raccoon
Order.
is
Exactly.
working, Groot is working, Hulk is another CG,
Hulk is
completely CG character
Yeah,
that's working.
yeah.
Fuck,
There's a lot of work.
It's
Yeah.
so
Spider-Man,
insane, so
Ebony
insane.
Maw.
Yeah. So it's super impressive. I would definitely check it out. It's on Slash Films YouTube channel.
That better win an Oscar, dude.
At
VFX
least get nominated.
That's
Jesus
better
Christ.
get nominated.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
If it doesn't get nominated, then it's just like, great,
Right.
Academy, you guys definitely have a bias against
No, they're cool now.
superheroes.
Remember,
Like,
they have a
they're
popular
cool.
opinion
We got
now.
pop movies,
Cool, guys.
baby.
Pop movies, yeah.
So
totally.
dumb.
Would you guys like it if Black Panther won that?
No.
No, just nominated for everything else. Damn it. Yeah.
Fuck.
So, but definitely check this out. It's really worth watching. It's 11 minutes long, but it's really worth watching
Yeah.
this
Cool.
this video.
It's worth it.
So the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna watch the trailer for Netflix's new season of Iron Fist. Before we do that, I just want to let you guys know really quick what's leaving and what's coming to Netflix. Kaiju, please don't knock over the
Kaiju's
monitor.
gonna knock over that monitor.
So here's the movies that are coming to Netflix this month. Not on any. These are all on different dates, so you just have to
Yeah.
make sure you check it out to know exactly when. Marvel Studios' Black Panther, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World are coming to Netflix.
I love
Oh
Scott
my
Pilgrim.
God.
Yes.
Spider-Man 3.
Oh my God. Movies that are leaving: Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
I
so
own all of those movies on
I do
Blu-ray.
too.
Yeah, that's
And
Most of
Black
them.
Panther on
you
3D
guys
Blu-ray.
own everything on Blu-ray.
I know
so.
we do. So Hector, you and I watched this. We watched this on Marvel Movie News that we did with Markia.
Yeah.
I will spoil it and just say it wasn't as big of a shit show as I thought it was going to
Dude,
be. But
it's
you haven't
good.
seen
There's
it
good
I
yet.
have
parts.
not seen this.
So let's go ahead and let's give it a gander.
And all right.
You have not been home in days. You barely sleep when you are home. How many times a night you light that fist up?
Oh, all right. All right.
See?
Okay.
Just trying to keep the peace.
They learned some
It
lessons.
does look like he's been practicing.
Yeah.
It totally looks like he's been practicing.
I didn't ask for the Iron Fist.
I'm fighting for what I believe in, no matter the cost.
That
What are
was
you
dope.
fighting for?
Trying to do what's right.
I didn't expect to see you here, brother. We have family matters to discuss.
You and Davos. You trained together.
I fought my brother. There is no changing what happened.
You feel that you can just walk through this world as if it belongs to you. The Iron Fist is not a weapon to be held, it is to be used. Now you'll give me what's mine, brother. You will suffer.
The Iron Fist. That was one of them.
We can stop him, but I need help.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
You can't save everyone.
Daughters of the Dragon.
She's like, I got a real Iron Fist, bitch.
Yeah.
I have become the thing you never had the strength to be.
History doesn't decide what happens next.
Fuck.
We do.
Iron
Do this more
Fist.
often. Dinner out, a movie. Date night.
It looks 100% better.
It looks 100% better. This looks so goddamn watchable.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm actually thrilled that this is as good as it is.
Can I also say something? I feel like now, because we have headphones, I'm way more into the trailers
Me
or
too.
the videos that we watch. I feel like it's
The
like,
sound
I'm
is
really
before
feeling it.
It was like, what did they say?
¿Qué? What you say?
What did they say?
Lucas, I like your ideas.
Yeah, good
I was
ideas,
feeling it.
Lucas.
The music was great. It was just, first of all, a well-cut trailer.
It
Like,
was.
great trailer.
It was,
Whatever
yeah,
the
yeah.
show's going to be, we don't know until the show comes out, but
Yeah.
and it's going to be in a couple weeks. Like, it's gonna
Yeah,
be soon.
September 7th, I think this.
Very well-cut trailer.
Yeah.
It harkened back to the first few trailers for the first season of Iron Fist, where there's always like it's that movie music style and some of like the sort of Eastern music, but then mixed
Yeah.
with like dubstep type,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Iron
yeah.
Fist, like
Right.
mixings of cultures.
Yeah.
And it sounded dope. And then the
Yeah.
martial arts looked great.
Yeah.
And then
There was
we love
one
the
thing that I
cast.
saw that I really liked, the dude with double wielding those small axes.
Ah, yeah.
So that's very
Yeah.
like traditional kung fu
Yeah.
style, like
The
harkening
Raid.
back. Yes,
Mhm.
Old
not
Boy.
even Raid. Yeah, it's just what other movie did I see it in? There was a few other movies that I saw it in, but it's like it's kind of like a trope. It's like the double axe kind of like badass.
Yeah.
There was the gang. There was a gang, the Axe Gang or something like that. I
Yeah.
forgot what movie that was in.
It's like the guy will bust into the kitchen like, poof.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to be here. And then some
Right.
guy will like grab two axes.
Two axes.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
that thing,
Two
yeah.
little axes. Though.
Yeah.
They gotta
Yeah,
be
yeah,
little.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like this
Little
big.
baby ones.
Little baby axes.
I brought my son's axes from home.
Lego axes.
Don't let them deceive you. They're incredibly sharp.
Lego axes. Fucking Lucas is about to come out like, I got the Lego axe.
I got you, baby.
You gotta hold them like that.
I got two of Voltron's swords right here. Let's do this.
Don't even. I sharpen the shit out of them, so be careful.
I'm gonna shake you real good.
Oh man.
Yeah, but no. I here's the thing. I think it's. We talked about it also. I think because of how many people told me that the show was such hot garbage.
Yeah.
I went into it thinking like this is gonna be a big pile of steaming shit. I
And it
didn't
was
hate it.
watchable for you.
Yeah,
Sure,
like
sure.
I really like the Meachums.
Yep.
I really like
They're
that
back.
brother sister. It's like a rivalry and a support system. It's a very like just fucked up relationship.
look-
Very fucked
and I
up.
liked it. And, like Colleen Wing is great.
Colleen Wing is
and
good.
there's moments
Yeah.
where Finn Jones where he doesn't have to constantly repeat that I am the Iron Fist, and I'm like, all right, man, I can see the potential. And I thought they used him so much better in the Defenders.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
forward
agree.
to this
I
new
agree.
season. I think
Well,
it's going to be good.
yeah.
I hope
Yep.
it's good. at
I
least.
just I started the season off negative, and
Yeah.
I couldn't let those things bug me.
Sure.
Or I couldn't let those things go, is what I
Sure.
should say. And I think that kind of ruined my experience. But
Yeah.
by the time I was like 6 episodes in, I was just like, just fucking get it over with already. Just stop.
Maybe I should let you two watch it first and tell me it's hot garbage, and I'm like, nah, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, maybe.
Watch it on your own.
Yeah.
No. We'll watch it.
Yeah.
Lie to him. Tell him it's hot
gotcha.
garbage.
I see.
And then he'll enjoy. He'll
Yeah.
really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
We'll see. We'll
That's
see.
how
point.
that's how it worked last
Yeah.
time.
Well,
Okay.
hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll
All
see.
right.
Well, that's it.
Call it a night.
It's good. It was good. It's a good show.
Deal.
It was good to be back.
Great show.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys check out the Patreon for sure, though, because every month we are doing audio commentaries.
That's
you can access them
right.
live.
What are we doing
Hang
next
out
month?
with us.
What's the
Ooh.
category?
Tease them a little bit.
It's going to be 90s superhero movies that maybe are obscure, maybe are kind of cheesy, but are really fucking funny and dope.
Yeah.
So go to the Patreon, patreon.com/hyperrpg. Check those out. You know what? I'm going to put the poll out tonight because I forgot to
Good
do it
idea.
last week.
Good idea.
I'll put it out tonight. And then if you become a part of some of the higher tiers, the $5 tier or the $10 tier, you can get early access to our Iron Man commentary, which will be out on YouTube next week.
It's good.
It's really good. We had a really great time. I had a lot of fun doing that.
That was a lot of fun.
You will learn something.
You will learn something.
Guaranteed.
You will. You will.
We should put that one up just so that they know what they missed out on.
Right?
Yeah.
I did put a clip of us talking about a few things on social meds. Social meds. So just join the Patreon. I mean, it supports Hyper. It supports our show. It allows us to be able to do more stuff with you guys, for you guys. And I know you guys are always asking us to do more content.
Yeah.
The Patreon is a really great way to make that happen.
For sure.
In the meantime, Hector, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on the internet at Hector is Funny. I'm looking for that social meds. Where'd you put it?
I posted like a few days back.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you. There's 8 billion posts.
There's you're a very popular man.
That's right.
No,
that's
it's Adam. Is he's
posting
dope movie shit. Dope movie shit.
Trying, baby. I'm trying.
Yeah. You can find me at L_Santo Taco.
Just find me at Adam Hlavin. Of course, make sure you follow Hyper RPG, Hyper_RPG, wherever Hyper RPG social medias are sold. See you next week.